Hello and welcome to Chatty AF, the anime feminist podcast. Welcome to the third episode of our watch-along of the shoujo series Yona of the Dawn. My name is Caitlin, and I'm a writer and editor for Anime Feminist, as well as writing for The Daily Dot and my own blog, I Have a Heroin Problem. Joined today once again by Peter Phobian and our special guest, Gabriella Ekins.
Hello, I'm Gabriella Ekins. I've been mostly daily streaming review and occasional reviewer for Anime News Now for the past 2 years. Recently, you may remember me for my Pop Team Epic reviews last winter.
And I'm Peter Phobian. I'm a producer at Crunchyroll and a contributor and editor at Anime Feminist.
Yeah, producer. Title change.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Big time. Oh, we're doing this. Thank you.
All right. Today, we're going to be covering episodes 13 to 18. First, let's check in our predictions from the last episode, which I actually wrote down this time. Gabo predicted that Yona is not the reincarnation of the Red Dragon, but rather the Chaos Dragon, a la the terrible anime series that was like based on a D&D game between Kino Konasu and I believe Narita and Gen Urobuchi, Ryogo Narita.
Yeah.
Yep. Did that come true?
Not yet, but I'm still holding out hope.
Just got the episodes wrong, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Peter predicted that it would actually be the Thomas Harrison Red Dragon.
But I don't remember this. Did I say it like from the Hannibal series, the Great Red Dragon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow. I said even a red dragon actually. Is that one of the colors that's available? I might have screwed up there.
That's like the lead dragon. That's the Yona dragon.
Okay, nice. So once again, in the future.
And the chipmunk would be voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
See, I'm watching the sub, so is somebody watching the dub? Can they?
No, it was,
can they confirm?
yeah.
Oh.
It was actually Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing the pirates thing.
Kind of problematic.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Okay. All right, and then Peter also, in seriousness, predicted she would finish collecting the boys in this stretch, and it would examine the idea of the divine mandate of rulership.
Well, I'm definitely wrong on the first part, but I think with the Green Dragon, it's starting to explore that a little bit. I guess we'll get into that. So maybe I was right about something.
Maybe. Gabo said something about JRPG classes and going into what it means to be reincarnated as a dragon.
I guess the second part is mostly the prediction, and it's starting to go there with Jae Ha is his name.
Yeah.
But that part hasn't really been resolved yet. So it's sort of inching that way, which is promising.
And so outside of the predictions, what do you guys think of this stretch of episodes?
I think this is where you can really tell that the pace has slowed down. Like, that I liked sort of the set of episodes with Gaeta, but it's kind of just taking a while. Like, it's taking a long time to collect all the boys.
Gaeta, do you mean Gunte?
Gunte, yeah. Sorry about that.
At this rate, she might just finish collecting them when the anime ends or something, and then our battle continues. As far as my impressions, I have some mixed feelings about the things that happen in this episode. It kind of got to where I want it to, but I don't know if I like the way that it's doing it. And on both fronts, because they're also examining what's going on with Suwon. But I'm not sure if I like that too much either. But I will probably elaborate as we go on to different points. So, yeah, it's doing the things I want, I'm not sure if it's doing them in the way that I would like it to be done.
So, in this stretch of episodes, they acquire the blue dragon and name him Sinha or Shin'a, depending on how you Romanize it. There's a little bit of Romanization shenanigans because it is going from Korean to Japanese to English, which gets a little wacky because those are 3 languages with very different sound systems. But it's Romanized as Sin'a. I might revert to the old Romanizations just out of habit because they changed them while they were subtitling them.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah. Suwon. We have a little Suwon 2-episode aside where he goes and hangs out with the Earth Kingdom General Guntae, and Guntae is not impressed at first, but figures out that there is more to Suwon than meets the eye, as Suwon sets up a festival for them, and Guntae just really wants to fight. And then Yona and her boys go to the city of Awa, which looks lively on the surface, but is actually very troubled because it is run by a corrupt group of city officials who kidnap girls, beat up people who resist them. And they meet the green dragon, Jae Ha, who works with a group of pirates who are opposing the corrupt city government. And so we meet a lot of new friends this week, including learning more about the blue dragon, who gets the name Sinha, and is a very sweet boy.
Yeah, he's a puppy boy.
I'm a little confused. Have they, described... His power basically makes you, freeze in place, right? Or have they not told us what it is, actually? Because we kind of see what happens back in his flashback, right?
Right. It's kind of implied, so it can... Since it is, not as... It's more magical than a physical power, like the other dragons. It is a little ambiguous. But he can see really far distances, and very well. And he can paralyze people with his eyes.
And it's not on all the time, right?
No.
He wears a mask because he's comfortable with it.
He's not like a Gorgon. He's not like Medusa. He's just more comfortable with the mask on.
Or afraid that he'll randomly turn people to stone, I guess, is the thing that they're trying to portray.
Well, when people treat you like a monster, you kind of feel like you're a monster. So he's afraid of being what they thought he was, even if he knows that he's not.
That's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a cute boy.
He's traumatized. And I actually really love his character. I love how, specifically, how he is written. You can sort of you can see the effects of the isolation on him in pretty much every aspect of his personality. He's just very, he's so, shy and timid. And he's quiet because he's not used to talking to people. And when he does speak, he's very, haltingly and almost childlike speech patterns.
Oh, I think he has one of the best designs of the crew.
He does.
I think the designs in the show are kind of mid-range. I like the art style, but they're a little generic, and he has one of the more distinct ones. This would be a cool character to get in a Fire Emblem game.
Yeah. Just sticking to that, huh?
Yeah.
His eyes are so beautiful.
Some Mononoke thing going on, too.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the color of his hair. It's a nice shade of blue.
Like Lancer?
It's a little lighter. I actually like the shade of blue better.
Okay. All right.
Hawk is the Lancer.
I guess, yeah, that's true. I guess some of the ambiguity, I do like the way he's weird, given that he's never left his cape before. I think that's pretty funny. I'm wondering if there was more to that arc in the manga, though, since it kind of seems like they never really bothered to talk about. I guess that everybody was afraid of him because I guess there was some sort of bad experience in the village where they thought his eyes were cursed, but it never really gets into it. I would assume at some point somebody accidentally used his eyes on the village or something, and then they came to fear him, and then stuff happened. But I guess their prejudice or their fear of him was never really kind of. I guess maybe it doesn't really need to be written out. It just felt weird.
Didn't they say that it's because people? There was a history of people coming to the village to try and get the magical eyeball guy?
Did they?
Yeah.
That's what I remember, which, again, feels a little weak. How often has that happened? When you just, tie down the magical eyeball guy or something? It seems kind of, hard to kidnap him. I don't know. But I think that's the explanation.
Gija kind of talks about how, in his village, he was revered. The people of the, blood of the dragon were considered, almost holy, but he realizes that that's not necessarily the case everywhere. Mm-hmm. Because these people are powerful, and that's really scary. That's really scary. Even if someone isn't necessarily malicious, wouldn't it be terrifying to have someone who if they felt like it could use their eyes to totally paralyze you to the point that it's deadly when no one else can do anything like that.
I don't know. But it seems like all the other dragons, at least so far, have knowledge of the kind of situation. And I'm not sure why the one with the most apparently magical power would also be the one whose, like, history regarding the dragon power was lost to time. Because, like, even the green dragon who appears, like, he's not in a village, he's just off on his own. He, like, is specifically avoiding Yona because he knows about the connection thing and wants nothing to do with it, which is something we'll talk about. But it just seems like, I guess I kind of wanted something like there to have been an event where you learn how the village got so screwed up rather than just, like, kind of... there was a lot of insinuation, I guess, is what what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd, like, started living in mountain caves, like... Yeah. Why didn't they just ditch the guy?
I feel like there's a huge backstory that's not really... that you're just kind of... I mean, I'm okay with, like, stuff kind of being implied, that's cool, but it's kind of like, they're like, I think there was, like, maybe a design here, and we just don't get to see it. Maybe that was, like, an associated light novel where they talk about how screwed up the Blue Dragon Village is or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, that's something that, if you felt inclined, you could write about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Do some fan fiction.
Yeah.
Some hurt and comfort fic.
It's okay.
I've never done a fanfic before.
Fan fiction isn't just for girls, Peter.
Yeah.
Anyone can write it.
I'll think about it. We'll see if I get any inspiration.
And then we also meet Gunte, who is the opposite of the Blue Dragon. And also my husband.
He's a rowdy man. He's not a boy. He is very a man.
He likes to fight. He doesn't like to dress up. He
has big, crunchy hair.
There are two things in this world that he loves, fighting and his wife.
I kind of didn't get what Suwon was doing there. I mean, I think, like, kind of everybody in the kingdom kind of knows that he killed the last king, right? But they don't have anything on him, so they're just going like, well, I'm not gonna be the one to stand up and get cut down. But now Suwon's kind of playing like he's kind of an idiot, I guess. It's one of those things, something I like that you get in these kinds of shows is they kind of, like, have men who are kind of strong or ingenuitive in like, non-traditionally masculine ways. And normally I like that kind of thing in a series like this, but I don't see how that connects to Suwon's character, especially because it seemed like he killed the king because the king wasn't kind of a strong enough presence and, like, military personality to defend the kingdom. And now he's making himself off as an even weaker person than the original king. And I get, like, even if he's trying to make the military strong, you got to imagine that the enemies of the country, they would hear that this new, like, king is even more kind of foppish than the old one, and they would think, oh, maybe now it's time to attack. So I almost feel like acting that way is sort of inviting foreign invasion, and I have no idea why he's doing it, especially when everybody kind of knows that he murdered the last dude. I just can't identify the reason for him to act this way.
Yeah, like, playing weak is something you do or, like, playing stupid is something you do when you're in a position of weakness and someone could root you out. At this point, Strength might better consolidate his forces and immediately just get, like, the guy's, like, crunchy hair guy on his side.
Yeah, he could have more easily won him over if he's just like, oh no, we're going to go to war. I'm going to take out all these guys who invaded our country and I'm going to defend our borders. He could have won the guy over just as easily that way. But instead we had a whole episode where he pretended to be clumsy, embarrassed himself in front of all of the foreign nations people, and kind of won the guy over because the guy realized he was smart anyway.
The schemes are at least cool, and who knows, maybe he's trying to look weak to, like, bait an invasion or something.
Yeah, that's I could think of two reasons to do that. Either to find out people who would be willing to try to overthrow him, or to actually encourage an invasion to justify him striking back militarily so that he's not the first person to attack. That's why I could imagine somebody doing that. But in absence of those two reasons, I'm like, why aren't you just, like, getting the military together and going to invade all those places? Because obviously things suck right now. People are starving to death.
Well, playing harmless has kind of always been his thing, right? Like, even when he was a child, he acted like he was sweet and harmless so that no one would expect that he had his eyes on the throne. Like, he told Yona, like, the like the Suwon that you knew was never real, which I don't think is necessarily true.
Yeah, that's definitely
bullshit.
But
he is used to sort of operating on that level of like not having people take him seriously. I don't know exactly his motivations for acting that particular way, but I can only guess, but it was effective. And like he puts on this festival, and in doing that, even though Guntae was like, why are we just like being so silly and like just doing this like ridiculous thing, like he accomplished several goals through doing it. Like he found basically a new economy for like 2 new economies for the Earth tribe, the gems, and his wife's tea. He got something for the people to be fired up about. He got it so that Guntae's people could see their leader and get excited for their leader. So I don't know why he pretends to be ineffective, but also just he is effective.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the schemes that like the whole thing about the tea and the stones themselves, I think was smart. And he could have had the war games, taken them seriously, and still engineered his own loss without like making it look like he's a fucking idiot, I think. But I do think, yeah, like on the other side of that, his schemes have also proven that he's actually a way more effective king than the last king, because it took him like 2 days to improve one of his vassal economies dramatically. Almost zero effort. All he did was visit them. He's just like, oh, these are 2 like commodities that no one's taking advantage of. Let me make a market for them. And so things aren't really looking good for Yona's daddy, as far as that's concerned. This guy's, on that note, like at least economically, this guy's a lot better than her dad. And I'm starting to wonder about the whole divine mandate thing. That was how that worked into it.
Yeah, basically the only perk of Yona's dad is did not like war.
Yeah, and then even then the did not like war like allowed the other countries around them to sort of nibble at their borders. So yeah, and also like I feel like when someone wins the throne like through violence, through usurping it like Suwon did, it can be an advantage if like people don't take him seriously and they underestimate him, because they're going to be looking at him like he's going to have enemies through doing that, and he doesn't want his enemies to know exactly what he's capable of. But anyway, I like Guntae.
Guntae's good. I definitely like
he's
Guntae.
not
Yeah.
the kind of character I generally like, but he's attractive.
I've gotten like, as I enter my mid-20s, I'm like getting more excited for like the older anime men.
Right?
Before I was like, oh, there's like an Oji-san character in the game I'm playing, and he's like 35, and I'm like, what?
Right?
I'm like, I want an adult.
Like the pretty teenagers, whatever. You move past that.
Yeah.
The older guys with the tans and the crow's feet. That's where it's at.
Yeah, can we have a harem of that? Like this with like a 29-year-old protagonist.
I mean, there's Ristorante Paradiso.
That's a little too old for me.
Yeah, no.
Just
like a bunch of Guntaes and Kotetsu from Tiger and Bunny.
Yeah.
Just give me a harem of that. And he just has a really sweet relationship with his wife.
Yeah, good wife too.
She's adorable. She just keeps calling him adorable.
Glad they found a tea
Oh,
buddy.
that's what I'd do if I had a crunchy husband.
Crunch it up.
Calling him kawaii all the time. Crunchy husband.
Well, that's what someone will call Peter when he gets married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, is that what Peter's gonna be someday?
I knew we were gonna go in this freaking direction. Yeah. One day, I can only hope. One day.
Someday you'll find a crunchy crunchy woman to make you a crunchy husband.
That means I would be dating an employee, which I'm pretty sure is a bad thing, right? You're not supposed to date coworkers. Is that right? It's a bad thing.
Is that...
It is complicated and has a lot of potential complications. And then in the last 2 episodes, we meet Jae Ha, who is also my new husband and also Hawk's new husband.
He's one leggy boy.
It's true.
Dumb legs.
Jae Ha, who has the the green dragon who has the dragon's leg and can jump really well.
Which lets you jump.
And kick.
Yeah.
Jump and kick.
Did it say that it, like, made his kicks... Does he have just, like, really ridiculously strong legs? Is that how it works? Or can he fly? Or both?
I think he can jump so well that it's like he's flying.
Okay. Which means like it's muscle power, which also means he can kick the shit out of people, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It seems like way more awkward to just have one of these than, like, only having one of the arm. Like, why not just give him both? Like, with a leg, like, if he's landing and he kind of messes it up and he lands on the other leg, then that leg's gonna be really fucked up. And, like, is one longer than the other? Does he have, like, weird mismatching shoes? Those seem like serious issues.
Serious questions to ask about his legs.
Well, it looked like he had decent fitting shoes that hid his dragon legs away nicely enough. But yeah, I like Jae Ha a lot. He's only in 2 episodes this stretch, but I really like his arc of being like, I like my life, and I like the people around me, and I don't like the idea of, like, just because I have this leg, I have to be in service to this person. Like, that this destiny shit is bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely coming up with the whole weird imprinting thing, right? I think with his character, it's kind of like right out there that it's almost like when you meet her, your other self comes out and says, no, you're her servant, and you don't get a choice in the matter, which is honestly some kind of scary shit.
Yeah, it's like Twilight imprinting. It's just pretty messed up.
Is that a thing in Twilight?
Yeah, the
werewolf
worst part
boys?
of Twilight is that, like, the werewolf guy who, like, is Bella's, like, number 2 who loses.
Yeah.
Like, his
Mr.
like, like, consolation prize is that he imprints on her newborn baby, who will, like, grow super fast into, like, a teenage vampire kid.
What?
Like,
Yeah, she'll turn 8, like, she'll be, like, an 18-year-old within, like, 3 years, and then she'll stop aging.
Oh, like Raphtalia?
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, werewolves have, like, imprinting true loves, and, like, he does it to this newborn baby who, because he's half vampire, will age super fast so they can be together. It's really, really gross.
Twilight is very strange, but I don't think it's totally analogous, just because, like...
Yeah, I don't think
a
lot of those elements are possible here.
Yeah, it's just that, like, he feels like he needs to serve her.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, this series gets compared to Fushigi Yugi a lot, and in Fushigi Yugi, none of them really ever, because, you know, it's the same sort of, like, destined warriors, like, having to, going around and collecting them, but, like, in Fushigi Yugi, none of them ever sort of question their destiny.
Well, I mean, they go through, I assume it's like a similar arc pattern where they meet new people and, God, I can't remember what the main girl's name in Fushigi is. Miyaka, that's right. She kind of, if I remember correctly, I know I watched at least the first, like, 12 episodes, she kind of wins each of them over in her own way, and it never becomes, like, a huge plot point as to whether or not they, like, would have reason to not want to do shit with her, but, like, they see something in her that makes them want to follow her, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of, like, less on the face of it, whereas in this one, this guy's, like, actually serving somebody is kind of antithetical to the way I want to live my life, but it seems like he's not going to have much choice in the matter. I assume she'll win him over so that it's less, so, like, it's like, at least framed as kind of a free will thing, but it's kind of scary nonetheless.
Yeah, this is where I'm hoping that where, like, the show explores a little bit, and where there might be some, like, Fruits Basket influence, because Fruits Basket is a show that's totally all about, like, the horrible emotional ramifications of, like, being the reincarnated version of, like, this animal. Not those parts, those are just ridiculous. And, like, being, like, magically imprinted for this person
and just
forever.
Having your destiny tied to this person, whether you want it to be or not.
I can't wait till after next season when I can understand these references.
Is Fruits Basket next season?
I think it's next season.
Yes.
Yeah, it's April.
Yay!
Right? Yeah.
I know, I'm so excited.
This is going to come out when Fruits Basket is already out, I bet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. Oh well. As of recording, Fruits Basket is next season.
Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of Fruits Basket influence here. I haven't seen much Fushigi, but this show seems to be leaning a bit more into like the angst and the trauma that these boys have gone into due to like their status as like chosen ones.
Yeah, except for White Dragon.
And that's a Fruits Basket thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, Kija was raised sort of with the concept of like this is your life's purpose. This is what you're destined to be doing. This is what we are training you for. And he's like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm here to do. And Sinha was like, they were basically rescuing him from like a life alone, and being hated. And Jae Ha's like, no, I like my life. This is, you know, he likes being a pirate. He has like this city that he's trying to protect.
He has a pirate grandma. He has pirate
buddies. He has an awesome pirate grandma.
Yeah.
Who I want to be when I grow up.
When you grow up.
Yeah, when I grow up. I'm not grown up yet. But yeah, like, it makes sense that he's sort of resistant to the idea. Sorry, spoilers, he does end up going with them. Is sort of giving him a motivation to go with her. Antithetical to the idea of, like, not wanting to be dictated by destiny, or is it...
I'm sure what it's going to come down to is he's going to say, well, I'm choosing to follow her, and therefore it is my will, and therefore I am doing it freely. And therefore there is no problem.
She's going to win him over with, like, the force of her personality and her...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, legit, she has, even, like, with all this imprinting stuff, I think, in other ways, she has shown each of the characters has grown to respect her in a different way. So they think that she is a good person to follow, separate from their genetic impetus to do so. I guess I don't think it's like really been a problem so far, but it definitely is kind of like something that they have really put to the forefront each time she meets somebody, is that they see her, they're like dragon genes activate, and then they're just like, oh, this is my master. That's like, wow.
Well, like I said, both of them had like perfectly good reasons to like not really resist going with her. She is growing as a person and as a leader. We see that she is staying up way too late practicing her archery, trying to shoot things with it.
Yeah, when the pirate lady said, well, isn't there anything you do well? Why didn't she say archery? She's been practicing for weeks. It's even
I don't think she
combat
considers
related.
herself that good yet.
Yeah, remember, she knows Hawk. Hawk is a fucking prodigy at everything involving fighting, so...
Just say you could shoot a bow so the lady lays off.
I'm good at being the reincarnation of this dragon.
Yeah, no, I'm a motherfucking princess.
Yeah, I'm literally, through my bloodline, your queen, and there's nothing you can do about it. How's that?
That's right, I'm the rightful heir to the throne.
I'm the main character.
Yeah, also the main character. That's pretty important. Yeah, she's got hockey, too. Actually, that was a joke, but that's true. She straight up looked at people and they, like, freeze before. It's almost like she has Blue Dragon's power. Like, the way it happens seems supernatural. I'm not alone here, right?
She's got the death glare.
Yeah, she's straight up got hockey. Like, that, I think that is actually a magical ability in series. She can make people, like, she gives them the royal eye and they like, bow down or freeze in
That's
place.
what I
or something
figured
like
in,
that.
like, the first bunch.
So, that is, like... That feels like a power to me. That feels like something she specifically can do.
I don't think it's been treated as something supernatural, at least not like so far, even in the manga. I think she's just has that much developing that much force of personality. She is like the destined ruler. Like she is the Crimson Dragon. So like I wouldn't say that she specifically has like powers to freeze people with her eyes, but like,
oh, that's right. She's the Red Dragon. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like but like I don't think it's a specific power. I think she just has that like very natural charisma and can use that to intimidate people.
Okay.
she gets a look at like what the world is like outside of the palace, like outside of these villages, but just like the level of starvation and corruption that her father let happen, because sometimes like pacifism is not always the best answer.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's becoming apparent that her dad is actually a bad king.
Yeah.
Unless there's some huge extenuating circumstances. Yeah, I don't know why he's getting scenes where they're just like, actually, he was a good guy. I mean, maybe they're trying to like make him out, it's like supposed to be complex or something. But they keep on, they make it sound like he has some sort of hidden face where like a lot of him being a nice guy was just kind of, I mean, like probably natural compassion, but also hiding the fact that he was like kind of a badass. But then you get scenes where it's just like, oh, also all his people were starving, so he was actually really bad at his job, probably.
Yeah, what does pacifism have to do with like entire villages starving?
Yeah. And I mean, once again, Suwon just walked into a village and improved their economy in 2 days, so yeah, kind of. She might have to face the fact that her dad's really shitty at being king, and her heritage actually isn't all that great, despite the fact that it has a divine mandate. And if that's the case, what does that say about her reclaiming the kingdom? Because essentially,
she's going out and she's learning about the kingdom, right? Like she is sort of seeing the damage that her father's policies are doing, and so she's talking to people and learning about people, and so hopefully she'll be able to do better,
I guess. But what's the message there? Like, every good royal line needs to be overthrown once in a while so it can like reestablish its roots with its people and then take its rightful place as the leadership again. Like, royal blood atrophies until it has to fend off a revolutionary attempt by the people. Like, at this point, it feels like Sunwon justifiably killed that guy and should justifiably be king.
I think it's that you have to make room for a cool princess to rise up and collect boyfriends every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, but that's cool. I'm down with that. But also, it's if this is like something that it's like her destiny to be the queen because of her bloodline, when you see what the last of her bloodline was like, then it's like, well, okay, well, maybe that bloodline's not that great. Maybe we shouldn't be trusting a single genetic line with leadership of this country.
I don't disagree, and I think the manga is kind of thus far grappling with that, where it's like, yes, like Yona is the rightful heir and she's the Crimson Dragon, but Hawk is a good king. Or not Hawk.
Suwon.
Suwon, thank you. God, I got there eventually. No, I didn't. I only got there with your help. Suwon is a good king.
Yeah.
Like, he's an effective leader. He's intelligent. He sees opportunities. Like, I think the manga is sort of dealing with that reality.
That's like really cool, but I also have no idea how you could reckon that.
That ultimately Yona and Suwon, like, even though they're enemies, like they want the same things. They want to set the kingdom right. As Yona like sees more and more of the damage of her father's policies.
I think the story should head towards Suwon doing something stupid. Like probably going to war against someone he shouldn't have, or following his father and probably becoming like a shitty warmonger. So like Yona has to be the resolution between her dad, who was like pacifist to the point of not being able to do anything, and a more vicious king.
That could be a direction for it to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was assassination that got him where he was, so that's kind of a not great way to have started things off.
Yeah, and Yona's out there learning like empathy for the people. Like, she's not just like fixing things, but she's like talking to people and seeing like so personally like the effects of what's going on. And she saw that the child that got killed, like, that was because her father was such a weak leader that the city officials were able to run rampant and do whatever they want and take advantage of their people.
Is this the town that they're turning into like Drugville?
Yeah. And human trafficking.
Okay.
It's a big like trafficking hotspot.
Wasn't his whole speech regarding overthrowing the king, though, related to the fact that the people were suffering and he wasn't, like, handling the problem?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems like Suwon's aware of this, actually taking steps to fix it.
Yeah. It's, and they're both traveling around and seeing the country, so I don't know how it's going to shake out between the two of them. I honestly don't. The manga is still running, and it's a long-running series, so... and the U.S. releases are behind. So, like, I sincerely don't know where this is going to go. But the fact that Yona is doing this is, I think, really powerful, and really makes this manga special, is that she is working so hard to learn and to not become self-sufficient necessarily, because as a ruler, like, she has vassals, she has people serving her, but learning to be a leader and learning be strong and learning how to fix things. And I think that is really, like, I think that's really awesome. And the fact that she is taking her own protection into her own hands more and more is really, I think, uncommon for a lot of these kinds of series, because most of them that I can think of, like, the girl is being protected 100% of the time.
Yeah, this really feels like a 2010s update of this sort of very similar story, like Fushigi Yugi, but Miyaka isn't annoying and learns to, like, stand up for herself.
Right.
To an extent.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's not an isekai, but it has a lot in common with a lot of that sort of isekai.
Yeah.
It's, so I'm also, like, Red River, From Far Away, From Far Away.
Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, like, I mean, in Inuyasha, Kagome could shoot a bow. But, like, a lot of those series, like, the girl is more or less helpless, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's fine to have a non-combatant protagonist, but it's really cool to see a heroine who is, like, taking things so much into her own hands.
I'm excited to see her when she, like, finishes leveling up.
She hits level 100.
And gets to, like, class change, and she gets a horse out of nowhere, and now she could use swords.
Princess has leveled up into queen.
Yeah, these are all Fire Emblem jokes.
So, circling back around to Jae Ha.
He's up in the boyfriend rankings.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys think he is bisexual?
Yes.
Do you think he's genuinely into Hawk?
I mean, I have no idea what the writer meant, but
right.
They are really playing up his flirtatiousness. I don't know if they meant to, like, actually portray a bisexual or just, like, really, really playing into. I know this one's for the BL fans out there, but
yeah,
I read him as really into probably, like, Pan. He just likes beauty.
Mm-hmm. He just likes pretty people.
Yeah.
He's just like, because the first thing he says to Hawk isn't, oh, you look really strong. It's, oh, you're handsome.
Yeah.
And, like, that is what a lot of his pursuit is. Like, yes, he wants him for the pirates. Like, he thinks he would be helpful. But, yeah, a lot of it is like, oh, you're really hot. Come join me. Come hang out with me, hot guy.
Yeah, be my battle boyfriend.
Let's be pirates together.
That's a great first date. Let's go be pirates.
Nice pickup line.
Jae Ha's, like, the Lancer of the gang to me from Fate in personality. Hawk is
yeah.
the Lance.
I think they might have the same voice actor. Hold on. I'm going to look this up.
It's very important.
Yeah, it's very important.
It is very important.
Speaking of voice actors, I've been listening to the English dub, and it's not terrible.
Glowing endorsement.
Caitlin has a problem with Yona's voice.
It just doesn't...
It's very affected, I'd say. I could listen to it, but I see what you mean.
Oh, no, he's not the same as Lancer. He's, he has the same voice actor as Archer.
Oh, that's much worse. Not dissing the VA, but, that is a step down in husband material.
Yeah.
That is a hard step.
Junichi Suabe.
So, like, my big problem with the dub is that Keisha's voice actor is Ian Sinclair. And I'm normally a big Ian Sinclair fan, but the type of character he voices is, like, space dandy, Zap from Blood Blockade Battlefront. He has a very strong, like, and deep, like, I'm a rowdy rapscallion voice. And that doesn't suit Geisha at all. So, like, imagine, like, Space Dandy voice coming out of the White Dragon guy.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
They should have just switched green and white because Jae Ha has a much, like, softer, higher voice. That's a little too soft for him, I think. But it's not as bad, like, but mostly Geisha is really off in a funny way.
Jae Ha, like, he doesn't have a particularly deep voice in the sub, but I could see, but, like, it would work better than having, like, a really deep voice, I think, would work for Kija. Like, and also, like, Ian Sinclair has a lot of, can turn on the charm.
Yeah.
And, which is Jae Ha.
He can turn on the, I'm a smarmy lad.
Mm-hmm. Smarm, that's a good way to put it.
I'm a smarmy rowdy boy, and you want me. That shit.
Turn on the smarm. Okay, anyway, sorry. But, yeah, no, I can't imagine that really working. That's weird casting.
Otherwise, I'm curious about where Leggy Boy is gonna hop next in terms of his damage.
And learn his tragic backstory.
Yeah.
Why is he like this?
Does there need to be a tragic backstory to just want to have fun kicking people with pirates? Kick them back?
Kicking it?
I'm betting he was locked in a box or something. These types of stories always have one where it's
right.
like, boy who's locked in a box.
Alright, I'll put that under prediction.
I was imprisoned and I will never be imprisoned again.
Yeah, I was born in a box and they put a baby chain. Yeah.
That is tragic. I escaped my mother's womb and I will never be held again.
A very traumatic birth.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it'd be traumatic to give birth to a scaly boy.
I just wouldn't blame him if he just didn't want to leave Gigan, because she's amazing.
Yeah.
Pirate mom.
I bet he just, like, saw her once and was like, I know where I want to be.
Yeah. I would follow her to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, she's got it together, especially because I assume she's constantly smoking opium, but is able to stand up and give orders. That's impressive.
Yeah. No, she's, like, romanticized anime pirate, so I'm sure she, like, does not allow drugs on her ship.
Well, I mean, she doesn't allow killing, which in this series is kind of a very fanciful idea. So I was like, oh, that's cute. That's very Disney. I wonder how they get away with that. Probably because they have a god guy who can kick people.
Yeah, just subdue them.
I mean, you literally had a child get beaten to death in the same episode where they introduced a bunch of like joyful pirates who are just like, we'll never kill anyone. We just rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that, like, it's definitely, like, a romanticization, but it does make sense that, like, if the city government is so corrupt, then, like, there are the people who are defending it are the outlaws and rebels.
But not killing is very optimistic.
Yes.
Especially from her, because she seems like kind of the hard-ass type.
Living in that hive of scum and villainy.
Well, and she's like, oh, Yona, you can't do anything. Well, then get off my fucking ship.
I can look pretty. Well, that's why they have Jae Ha, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty people in that group. I don't know if she stands out in that regard. Unless you're into redheads, which, I mean, seems a lot of people are in this world.
Well, because she's the Crimson Dragon.
Yeah, the whole White Village had a type.
They definitely did have a type.
Yeah.
There.
Red hair is very uncommon in that universe, and for them it was a sign that the Crimson Dragon had arrived.
I'm just saying, if she were My Little Pony, she'd be Rarity.
Is that the rainbow one?
I don't know. I just know his name is Rarity, and red hair is rare. That's my.
No, wait, that's Rainbow Dash. Is Rarity the purple one?
I don't know.
Yeah, Rarity's the purple one.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
But all right. Do we want to do some predictions? I think we've covered pretty much everything we wanted to talk about.
I'm down.
All right. So Gabo is predicting that Jae Ha was locked in a box.
Yeah.
Anything else? This is going to be for the last stretch of the anime.
Yeah, I think we kind of have to predict an ending here, right?
I predict we're going to meet the last scaly boy, and he's going to have all the body parts the other ones don't have. So he's just going to be a lizard with like a...
He's a dragon head.
He's a lizard with like no eyes, a human arm, and a human leg.
Wow, that's extreme. Maybe he's got a tail.
He has one of those like lizard like necks where it goes in and out, in and out.
Oh, he's just the
Jesus.
girl from Mysteria Friends, Greya.
All right. Okay. Got that one written down.
All right.
What else?
He's gonna be more of an orange color.
I mean, we saw him in the old opening, so
Oh, true.
I think in the new opening too. I think they just actually give everything away in the opening.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about. What do you guys think of the new openings and endings?
I actually kind of like the song.
I hate them.
Oh,
I thought they were a major step down.
I like them in isolation, but yeah, I think the other ones were like more thematic. So I think the first one kind of hits the kind of setting that the story is trying to do more. It reminded me of the 12 Kingdoms opening, which was kind of very similar in the way it did its music and like showing things. The new one's
the
just
music
kind of
also
like,
sounds like it's like 15 years old.
I mean, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yona of the Dawn?
Yona of the Dawn's not that old of a series.
Isn't it?
It's only like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really feel that old. 2009. No, that's the manga. 2014. Holy shit. That is pretty recent. I have trouble believing that's recent, actually. God, we really got a female-led reverse harem fantasy series with decent production values in the last 5 years.
yeah, the show is like super a throwback.
Yeah. This is like
Yeah, and
hella early
people were
thousands.
saying that when it came out.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah, because I think in regards to predictions, I can't honestly, I think it has to end with, like, them finally getting the last dragon, maybe kind of setting up how dangerous the villain is, and then it's just got to end, right? It can't really show final conflict because I guess the manga is continuing to go. So, and this is probably just an advertisement for the manga, basically, as is most anime. So,
I predict that
yeah.
Su Wong is going to do something fucked up that, like, shows that Yona is going to need to intervene. Like, so far we've mostly seen him as the king doing all the right shit.
Yeah,
But we're going to see, why he's going to be a villain to Yona.
that makes sense.
More than just killing her dad.
Yeah, he does something that shows that he's not, in fact, the better option for the kingdom, maybe. Yeah, framing him as a villain would be good. Because, I mean, there was that first scene, but after that, it's just like the country's improving under his leadership. So you're just like, well, I have complex feelings about this. But yeah, maybe him showing some villainous credentials along with her, like, getting her squad together and then going like, okay, and now we overthrow the kingdom. And then the credits roll.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to predict that
Do you get
someday,
to do that? Okay.
someday,
Yeah.
they will make a second season.
Oh, shit. Okay. The meta prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe it.
Someday.
I actually don't know how it
Please.
did.
I don't either. The manga it's a long-running manga that I think is fairly popular.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going since 2009. 28 volumes. Damn. I wonder how
Whoa.
deep in the story are we right now.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can see us
It's-
getting an audience, like, women like anime. This is just, like, classic lady fantasy of the isekai type without the actual isekai.
Yeah.
With, like, a slightly, like, more active protagonist, which is, like, fashionable now.
Magic Redheads has been doing pretty... We got Snow White with the red hair, Ancient
Yeah.
Magus Bride. It's a genre.
Yeah.
It's still working. They gotta hit it while the iron's hot.
Give isekai back to women.
Yeah.
Yes.
You hear that? Oh, this was Piero, too? Wow. Okay. Yeah, you hear that, Piero?
Give isekai back to women. Give us more cool action fantasy shoujo stories. Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, no more slave hero or goblin slaver.
Goblin Slaver.
Yeah.
What's that? I think that series was many things, but I don't think it had slaves in it.
Oh, okay. That's the one thing it didn't have.
Yeah. You can, that's the one, if slavery's not your thing, if you're one of the rare people where slavery's not your thing, then Goblin Slayer
But you like everything else about the genre.
safe material. Yeah. Pretty much.
All right, we're hitting the hour, so I'm going to play us out.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Good
All
luck.
right. If you enjoyed this episode, check out our website at animefeminist.com. And if you really like this episode, donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/animefeminist. Every little bit counts. We have a lot of projects that we want to do for the site that we need more cash to do. You can also follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animefeminist, on Tumblr, animefeminist.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at animefem. That's the twist. Thank you to Peter and Gabbo for coming on, and thanks for listening. Thanks, Annie Fam.